Look. Now, what's been going on in the news? If you've been following the Ksoo case, what's been going on in the news and in Jacksonville with this shit, it's insane, my boy. It is insane. That just goes to show. I seen somebody say it. I forgot who posted it, but somebody said it. If your own dad will go in the courtroom against you and testify and snitch, not even snitch, bro. Yo, bro, the dad is 50 something, right? You done lived your life. So you talking about what he said? He said, "Oh, if anybody gonna get the time, I deserve to go out and live the rest of my life." Yo, bro. Not saying this is guaranteed. Not saying this is going to happen. Not saying this is what's about to happen. But you know, yeah, he's your son, but obviously the niggas your son was around loved him more and cared enough more cared about him more than you did. Do you know what them niggas is about to do to you when you leave that courtroom or whenever you get let out? Cause you still about to serve some type of years. Cause you still helped with supposedly allegedly you were the getaway driver, so you still helped with all that shit. So do you know what's about to happen to you? Do you know when they let you out of there? If you don't have if you're not in protective, yeah, if you don't got no, yeah, if you don't, you feel me? You're not gonna be able to stay in Jacksonville, no matter how you want to live your life. You're not gonna be able to stay nowhere around here, cause we seen nigga the Fulio situation. Nigga, them niggas took that drive that same night from Jacksonville to Miami to get Fulio. So you're not gonna be able to live nowhere in Florida. You're not gonna be able to live without having to look over your shoulder. From how many ever years you have left. You done told on this man. Yo, nigga, that's your blood, bro. You done told on this man, and it's on some crazy shit like, bro. I know how the internet feels. Like we seen Boosie tweet. We seen what Boosie had to say. We seen what a couple other people had to say. We know how the internet feels about him snitching on his son, nigga. They don't fuck with you. You not valid nowhere. You feel me? So just imagine how Ksoo feel. Yo, Ksoo probably heartbroken, bro. Not saying, he probably didn't expect it because it's been a long time coming, and the dad's been cooperating since they got grabbed. So for the case to come back and for them to get sentenced like that, like he got sentenced like that. So for them to be able to sentence him like that, he's had to been telling as soon as he got arrested. He had to been telling from start to finish, cause there is no way. And then they said they still gonna try to get him for Bibby murder. I'm not saying, allegedly, not saying he did it or not saying he didn't do it. That I'm not the police. I don't do the police jobs for them. I don't know none of these people personally. But, yo, the shit online they can pull up of this man, the way he was talking online, they still gotta do their job to find the evidence. Cause nigga, I can make the same video and go online dissing. Like I can make the same video, go online dissing the same way he was, but they can't charge me with none unless they can still find the evidence. But they had a video of dude in the video, and they was trying to say, oh, we can clearly tell this is Ksoo by this video. You really think that video is the reason he got sentenced, bro? That video did not help them in no way. That could have been any Jacksonville nigga with that build, bro. That video didn't help them sentence him in no type of way. You feel me? It was the dad giving them the whole everything they needed to give Ksoo the first degree murder charge. It was the dad. That video didn't give them enough evidence to charge him with that. That could have been anybody. Yeah, they did the whole little forensic thing, having them, the running poses and shit like that. Yo, that video, I can look at the video and tell you that you feel me? That didn't look like Ksoo. Nigga, Ksoo a big nigga, bro. That nigga in that video did not look like no big nigga. You feel me? But Ksoo's crash out, Lil Buck murder, snitches, and life sentences. Let's see what they talking about, bro.
Might be the biggest crash out in the history of the rap game. and today we're breaking down how he got cooked in his trial and will never be coming home again. The opening statement started with the prosecutor breaking down.
He didn't even get cooked in the trial, bro. He got cooked because the niggas, yo, the dad, yo.
On the war in Jacksonville for the jury.
6 Block and ATK are rivals. They don't like each other. They hate each other. And one of the traditions of both groups is producing rap music, drill rap, diss songs that make fun of or talk disrespectfully about members of their ops, the other group.
Drill fans know that Young and Ace and Fulio went to war and tore up the streets, but the lawyer broke it down piece by piece and told him that Ksoo murdered Lil Buck for get back. 1 year after Ksoo's brother Boss Goon got killed, Ksoo and his cousin Scotty went sliding on the ops on the anniversary of Ksoo's brother's death. That's when they spotted Lil Buck. When Lil Buck went to his whip, Ksoo popped out and shot him till he fell down. Then, while Lil Buck was bleeding on the pavement, Ksoo stood over him and shot Lil Buck in the head. And to make sure the jury knew how brutal the situation really was, the prosecutor described how Lil Buck's teeth and brains were splattered all over the parking lot.
Slashing open his flesh. Hot metal ripping through his muscles. Hot metal blowing open his skull. Flesh, brain matter, even teeth sent flying through the air.
Damn, look how he looking at him. Damn, look at the screen right there. They got, damn. They got their faces on the screen right in front. Look how he looking at.
There are a lot of insane parts of the Ksoo trial, but one of the craziest things is when the lawyer brought up what Ksoo told an op right before he pulled the trigger on Lil Buck. When Ksoo and Scotty saw Lil Buck park his whip and go into a building, they waited for him to come out. And while they were waiting, Ksoo FaceTimed one of Lil Buck's homies and told him, "We caught your boy slipping." Then a few minutes later, Ksoo hopped out and left Lil Buck's brains on the ground.
Using Instagram on his phone, he contacts Raekwon Howard. Raekwon Howard, who is affiliated with 6 Block. They're ops. Tells him, got one of your boys slipping. Let him know they're getting ready to take somebody out, but doesn't say who.
The defense team opened up while trying to make the witness sound sketchy.
You're gonna hear from Barbara Buckley, and I'll tell you up front, I think you'll like her. She's feisty. No one pulls anything over her eyes. And she's gonna walk in and she's gonna honestly talk to you about that morning.
Ksoo's homie Dominique Barner and his own dad Blue flipped on him, but the defense didn't want the jury to believe anything they said. Ksoo crashed out in public in front of a bunch of cameras, and he got caught running around with the gun he used to kill Lil Buck with.
Come on, bruh. Like, if them two niggas wouldn't have snitched, bruh, you gonna sit here and tell me that's Ksoo? Come on, bruh. Let's be... They said he called the op on Instagram, though. I don't know how the Instagram files and shit like that work, but he fucked up doing that, too. So I'll do it. At the same time, him calling him on Instagram, he could have just been calling him on Instagram just to say, "Oh yeah, we called up." But it didn't have to be him, at the scene. He could have just been saying, "Oh yeah, we caught you." Like, that's anybody. Like, the same way they go on live and the way they be talking on live. "Oh yeah, we caught Deuce-Lim, and we." Like, they're saying we, but that don't technically have to mean, "Oh, it was me at the scene." You feel me? But this video, like, this nigga right here, this nigga standing right here, you gonna tell me this is Ksoo? Now, I don't know how long ago this was, but I'm pretty sure, Ksoo always been a big nigga, bro. So you gonna sit here and tell me in my face that this is Ksoo? That's what you trying to tell me? Come on, bro.
The defense tried to argue that Ksoo was way bigger than the dude on the cameras, but Ksoo had photos all over social media that prove he fit the description of the shooter. After Ksoo killed, Ksoo had photos all over
that video don't fit that. That's a big nigga. You can see his gut through the jacket.
social media.
That's a big nigga. Look at his shoulders. Look how big his arms is. And go back to the nigga in
the cameras. And he got caught.
That don't look like Ksoo. Look at that nigga arms little as shit. He don't got no gut. Nigga legs about skinny as shit. Come on,
around
bro.
With the gun he used to kill Lil Buck with. The defense tried to argue that Ksoo was way bigger than the dude on the cameras, but Ksoo had...
That's a gut. Nigga legs, okay, the legs, everybody's legs are a little smaller than their upper body, but
photos
he got a gut right there. He got a gut right there. Nigga's arms, nigga's shoulders about big as shit.
The description.
You feel me? Like, come on, bro.
Shooter. After Ksoo killed Lil Buck, he hopped in the whip with Scotty and Dominique Barner, and they took off with the cops right behind him. They ended up crashing the whip, and that's when Ksoo split off from them. He ran through some woods and ended up in another neighborhood, and that's when someone spotted him popping out of the woods and getting picked up by a woman while the police sirens were going off everywhere.
A car approaching us, right, coming the way we were sitting.
And what was significant about the car?
It was a lady driving, holding a cell phone. She looked lost. Like she was looking for something.
Ksoo had called a woman named Natalie to come pick him up, and her testimony on the stand helped the prosecutors make their final decision. The defense tried to argue that Ksoo wasn't the dude who popped out of the woods, but Natalie confirmed that Ksoo came out of the woods, and that's when she picked him up.
Where did you have to go to pick Hakeem up?
Of Arlington Expressway and some apartments.
And how did you know where to go?
Kareem, I believe Kareem said it, or I don't know if there was a thing on his phone with a map.
Arlington Express. Yo, you didn't have to cooperate with these niggas. Like they didn't have to cooperate. Cause you're still an accessory in this case. So you're still about to get some type of time, nigga, whether you snitch or not.
That I cannot remember.
Natalie definitely didn't help Ksoo's case, but one of the biggest witnesses was his homie Dominique Barner. Dominique Barner helped Scotty break into a house and kidnap a woman after they crashed the whip, and he was facing some crazy charges. Even after he pleaded guilty and agreed to testify, Dominique Barner was still facing 20 years in prison.
You pleaded guilty and agreed to testify against the man just to still have time of serving 20 years. Are we serious? Are we serious?
Dominique confirmed that ATK was a gang and that Ksoo and Scotty both repped the set.
Are you familiar with a local rap group called ATK?
Yes, sir.
Was Abdul Robinson Jr., Kareem, part of ATK?
Yes, sir.
What about Hakeem Robinson?
Yes, sir.
Leroy Whitaker?
Yes, sir.
Gordon Williams?
Yes, sir.
Then Dominique testified about all the diss tracks and the real violence that was going on in the streets. According to Dominique, Lil Buck dropped a diss track on Ksoo's brother Boss Goon, and that's why Ksoo wanted to take him out.
If you know, what does the lyric "Smoking on Willie" mean?
You smoking on a dead person.
Is that a good thing?
What's a bad thing?
Was, excuse me, Abdul Robinson Jr., Kareem, aware of this song?
Yes, sir.
What about Hakeem Robinson?
Yes, sir.
Leroy Whitaker?
Yes, sir.
Were they upset over that song?
Yes, sir.
Dominique Barner actually DM'd Lil Buck after the track dropped and told him to stop dissing. And then Dominique looked up Lil Buck's address and found out what kind of whip he was driving. Dominique, Ksoo, and Scotty pulled up to the apartment building where Lil Buck lived. But the reason they didn't kill him immediately is because Lil Buck went on vacation and wasn't in the city.
Once you found out where Charles McCormick lived in December of 2019, why wasn't he killed right away?
Because he took a vacation.
Charles took a vacation?
Yeah.
They found out that Lil Buck was back.
So, let me get this right. You knew all this information and you're just giving it to him. You're just giving this information to them. You're just giving them this information. You were the one who looked up the address. You were the one who figured out the type of car he was driving. You went with them the day before in 2019 to see where he was and to figure out he was on vacation at the time. So you think that you're still not about to get hit with 20, 25, 30 plus? You're still about to be sitting there for 20, 25, 30 plus. And when you come home, them niggas is still gonna want you to, you feel me?
From vacation, and that's when Dominique, Ksoo, and Scotty went sliding again. They drove to Lil Buck's crib and waited for hours till he came outside. Then they followed him when he drove off. When Lil Buck got to the shopping mall and went inside a building, Ksoo, Scotty, and Dominique sat in the whip and waited. Dominique confirmed that's when Ksoo FaceTimed one of their ops and let them know they caught one of their homies lacking. Then Ksoo popped out and ran Lil Buck down.
What happened after Hakeem jumped out of the Nissan?
Shot at him.
Shot at who?
After they crashed their whip and took off running, Dominique and Scotty broke into a woman's house and started looking for different clothes they could change into and wait for the situation to cool down. They didn't know a woman was inside the crib though, and when she came in and told them they had to leave, Dominique and Scotty choked her and held her hostage so she couldn't scream for help. Then Scotty made some calls, and Ksoo's dad Blue was the one who came through and picked him up. One of the craziest parts of the whole story is that Ksoo's dad Blue ended up flipping on his son and taking a stand against him. Blue was facing charges in some other cases, but he thought testifying against Ksoo would help him get less time. The prosecutors are trying to prove that the Lil Buck hit was give back for Ksoo's brother Boss Goon, and that Ksoo's dad Blue was there when Boss Goon got killed. Blue was driving the whip when some shooters rolled up and aired it out, and Blue testified about holding Boss Goon's hand while he died in the car.
As I was driving, I could, hear Willie making this guggling noise, and I hold his hand while I was driving, because I didn't want him to die, feel like he died alone.
Blue's other son, Abdul Robinson Jr., was also in the car when his brother Boss Goon got killed. He's also facing the murder charge for Lil Buck, but his trial is going to be separate, and Blue's probably going to testify in that case too. Blue testified that Lil Buck was affiliated with 6 Block and had beef with Ksoo and everyone else in ATK. After Blue picked up Scotty and Dominique Barner from the house they broke into, he drove them behind Burger King so they could burn the clothes they wore on the hit. Dominique and Scotty told Blue what happened, and he decided to help him out a little bit so they could get away with it. But after Blue got booked and was facing charges, he flipped completely and admitted in court that Ksoo was the one who pulled the trigger on Lil Buck.
Who is the person that was captured on the video recording shooting Charles McCormick?
My son,
What's your son's name?
Hakeem.
Testifying against your own son is wild, but this wasn't the first time Blue snitched in court. Back in the 90s, he cooperated with the feds against the cop, and then he started working as a confidential informant for the cops. Blue was also wrapped up in another.
He was a confidential informant, so he been an informant. So, did you been an informant? Your son outside killing shit. So what's to say that he hasn't been snitching on Ksoo? He hasn't been giving the cops info on Ksoo. He hasn't been, you feel me? What's to say that he hasn't given them information on the whole ATK crew? What's to say? Like, what's to say you can't say that? The nigga's been an informant since the 90s. So if they knew that Ksoo was his son earlier on, what's to say that he hasn't been going in and giving them info, bro? You snitching on him now. Why you wouldn't do it, years before? Ksoo been running down on niggas, allegedly been running down on niggas for a minute. The nigga Ksoo was the most feared nigga in Jacksonville. Ksoo nigga, they used to call nigga Ksoo make his face go, allegedly. So if you knew that, what's to say? Yo, this case is insane. This shit might be crazier than the YSL shit. Because at least the YSL shit, nobody's family got involved. Well, there was, family was involved in shootings and shit like that. But nobody's family took the stand and to snitch and nothing like that.
Other case, but since he decided to plead guilty for accessory after the fact and flip on Ksoo, he's only facing 20 years in prison instead of life.
Nigga, he's 50-something. Nigga, you get out, you're gonna be 70-something. What the hell you mean you still have life to live? I'm pretty. That's what he said, right? I'm pretty sure I seen something. He was like, "Oh, I still got my life to live. I got the rest of my life to live." What? Nigga, what? Like, oh, I still got the rest of my life to live. Yo, bro. By the time you get out, you gonna be goddamn 70-something. Nah, just cause you gonna be 70-something when you get out, and Ksoo is never getting out. Then if they find him guilty in the Bibby shit, I'm pretty sure he's still they got a trial lined up for Bibby murder too for him. They find him guilty in the Bibby murder, they might try to hit him with the death penalty. So now he might get hit with the death penalty, and them niggas in jail might kill you in jail before your 20 years is even up, just because you snitched on nigga. They might beat the fuck out you just because you snitched on your son the way you did, and you might die in jail, trying to serve 20 or trying to serve less time. You still might end up dying. Because either way, when you get out, them niggas gonna be on your head. If you make it through that 20-year sentence while in jail, when you get out, them niggas gonna be on your head. For sure.
Prosecutors had witnesses,
This shit is crazy.
snitches, and DNA evidence to prove Ksoo was guilty. But Ksoo also self-snitched like crazy after he killed Lil Buck. Ksoo is also facing murder charges for killing Fulio's homie Lil Bibby. And right now, his reaction to finding out he got charged for that is going viral all over the place.
You do have a warrant for your arrest.
We have a warrant for your arrest for murder today.
What?
Yes.
For what?
You want your lawyer, so I can't tell you no more, but you'll be in trouble.
What the hell?
Ksoo self-snitched about Bibby constantly until he got booked for the Lil Buck murder, but a lot of people didn't even know he self-snitched about Lil Buck too. Ksoo even dropped the track Bang It Out and showed off the gun he used to kill Lil Buck and posted photos with the same strap. After the Lil Buck hit went down, Ksoo went to get a pedicure and made a post where he said, "Kill a nigga, then get my toes done." And one of the most viral parts of the trial was when the lawyers quoted the post.
Kill a nigga, then go get my toes done. Then go get my toes done. Those are his words that he attached to a video.
When the trial was over,
That part is crazy. I seen that part of the trial. That's crazy.
everyone knew that Ksoo and Scotty were cooked. The defense didn't really have anything to fight back against all the evidence, so Ksoo and Scotty both went down for murder, and Ksoo's reaction is blowing up on social media. Then after it was all over, Ksoo posted a story on IG and tried to say that the jury was against him because they were all white, and so was the judge. Ksoo crashed out and got flipped on by everybody, and there was almost no way he was going to beat the trial. The cops had DNA, videos, witnesses, and Ksoo's own self-snitching to use against him, and now he's facing life in prison. And what makes the situation even worse is that Ksoo...
The nigga ain't even try to put the tie over his head. Yo, he might have knew he was cooked. I mean, any no way around it. He knew he had to know he was cooked because his people were snitching on him. So it's like on some shit like...
is still gonna have to fight the Lil Bibby case. So even if he appealed the Lil Buck conviction and won, there's a good chance he's gonna catch another life sentence for allegedly killing Lil Bibby. Ksoo self-snitched a lot about Lil Buck, but it was nothing compared to what he did after...
About the Lil Bibby, the Lil Bibby shit was definitely worse.
He allegedly killed Lil Bibby. Ksoo gets his sentence handed down for the Lil Buck case in September 2025, and after that, he's got a whole new murder trial to worry about.
Well, y'all
Ksoo
boys
might be the biggest crash out in the history of the...
Well, y'all boys.
The rap.
Free Ksoo, man. At the end of the day, shit happens, you know, shit happens in the streets. But, you know, you're supposed to leave that shit in the streets. You're not supposed to go in the courtroom and flip on your own blood. You're not supposed to go in the courtroom and flip on niggas that, you know, y'all had this plan on, hey, bro. You know, we had this plan, you know. If we get caught, we get caught. You know, we had, you know, we were in this together, you know. If we get caught, you know, we get caught. We knew what we was going into, getting into this situation. We knew if we get caught, what it came with. We knew, you feel me, what we was doing on daily. We knew what it came with. So y'all can't go in there and now that we done actually got caught, you can't go in there, oh, I don't want to do this, I'm snitching on dude. No, you can't do that. You can't. That's not how the streets work. That's why niggas is out here saying the streets is dead. Like, nobody wants to be outside no more. I never wanted to be outside. You feel me? I've never been angry enough to where I wanted to go do something to a nigga. Yeah, you know, when I first started copping, yeah, nigga, you know, like shit, like, you know, yeah, shit happened, but it was money, like, you know, money come and go, and it was only $60. You feel me? You felt the need that you needed to get $60 off me that bad, nigga, you can have it. Nigga, $60, my nigga, you that broke, my $60. You broke ass nigga. You broke bum ass nigga. Like, but that shit never made me mad enough to where I wanted to go do something to a nigga. Yeah, if I cross ways with the nigga, I might punch nigga in his face a couple times, you know, punch on him, you know, knock a couple of his front teeth out. Yeah, I might, you know, you feel me? But I never, you know, nobody, you know, niggas, you can't just want to kill a nigga, bro. Like, unless you do something to my peoples, unless you come around here, you feel me? No, I'm not gonna just go, yeah, no. I know. But I don't have too much more to say. This was a crazy case. 9 times out of 10, most niggas knew Ksoo was cooked. But at the same time, this nigga's dad had no reason to go on that thing. He said, yeah, I know who it is. That's my son. What? Are we serious? Anyway, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to see that comment more fun. Go ahead and get up out of here, y'all boys. Ain't no booms and clap it up for nothing, nigga. If this nigga's dad is cooked either way, rather he get out or rather he, you feel me, I'm gone.